Frédéric Chopin was born in Żelazowa Wola, a village in Poland. The year was 1810. His father, Nicolas Chopin, was originally from France. He worked as a tutor for aristocratic families. His mother, Justyna Krzyżanowska, was Polish and came from a cultured background. Frederick grew up in Warsaw, where his family moved shortly after his birth. He was immersed in Polish culture and music from his earliest days. This Polish spirit would later define much of his musical work. His childhood was generally happy, though he was often a frail child. Young Frederick showed extraordinary musical talent very early. He was a true child prodigy. His first professional piano teacher was Wojciech Zuni. Zuni quickly realized the boy's immense gift. By the age of 7, Chopin was already performing in private salons. He also began composing his own pieces, mainly polonaises. These early works showed a remarkable understanding of musical form. They also displayed a distinct Polish character. People in Warsaw were amazed by his abilities. Many compared him to the young Mozart. Chopin's musical education continued at the Warsaw Lyceum. Later he studied at the Warsaw Conservatory under Józef Elsner. Elsner was a respected composer and teacher. He wisely allowed Chopin to develop his unique style. Elsner recognized that Chopin's genius followed its own path. During these years, Chopin composed several important early pieces. These included his variations on La Ci darem la mano from Mozart's Don Giovanni. Robert Schumann famously declared of this work, "Hats off, gentlemen, a genius." This praise helped bring Chopin to wider attention. His early compositions were deeply rooted in Polish musical traditions. He wrote mazurkas and polonaises. These dances were central to Polish national identity. Chopin transformed them into sophisticated art forms. His music from this period is full of youthful energy. It also shows a developing poetic sensitivity. He absorbed the melodies and rhythms of Polish folk music. He blended them with classical structures. By his late teens, Chopin was a celebrated figure in Poland. However, political unrest was growing. This would soon lead him to leave his beloved homeland. In late 1830, Chopin left Poland. He initially traveled to Vienna. He had hoped to further his career there. However, Vienna did not embrace him as warmly as he had expected. News of the November uprising in Poland reached him while he was away. This event caused him great distress. He felt a profound sense of loss and concern for his country. He expressed these feelings in his diary and in his music. The revolutionary etude, Opus 10, No. 12, is believed to be a direct response to these events. His time in Vienna was marked by homesickness and professional uncertainty. Chopin arrived in Paris in September 1831. Paris was then the vibrant heart of European culture. It was a city teeming with artists, writers, and musicians. The atmosphere was intellectually stimulating and artistically rich. Chopin found this environment much more welcoming. He quickly connected with other Polish émigrés. He also met prominent figures in the Parisian music world. Paris offered him opportunities that Vienna had not. He recognized that this city could be the place where his career would truly blossom. He decided to make Paris his home. In Paris, Chopin soon gained entry into influential social circles. His refined manners and exceptional talent impressed many. He became a sought-after performer in the aristocratic salons. Chopin preferred these intimate settings to large public concert halls. He felt his delicate and nuanced playing style was better suited to smaller audiences. This preference also influenced his compositions. He focused on pieces that conveyed subtle emotions and intricate details. He was not a showman like some of his contemporaries. His artistry was more personal and introspective. He captivated listeners with his poetic touch. Chopin also established himself as a highly respected piano teacher. He taught wealthy students, which provided him with a stable income. This financial security allowed him more freedom to compose. In Paris, he formed important friendships with other leading artists. These included Franz Liszt, Hector Berlioz, and the painter Eugène Delacroix. These relationships were mutually inspiring. They discussed art, music, and life. The intellectual ferment of Paris undoubtedly enriched Chopin's musical thinking. His style matured, absorbing new influences while retaining its unique Polish core. Paris became the backdrop for his most productive years. Chopin's personal life in Paris was marked by intense emotions. He experienced both deep affection and painful disappointments. One of his early significant relationships was with Maria Wodzinska. She was a young Polish aristocrat. They became secretly engaged in 1836. However, her family eventually disapproved of the match. They were concerned about Chopin's poor health and his status as a musician. The engagement was broken off a year later. This rejection deeply wounded Chopin. He bundled Maria's letters together, tied them with a ribbon, and wrote "Moja Bieda," my sorrow, on the packet. The most famous relationship in Chopin's life was with the French novelist George Sand. Her real name was Amantine Lucille Aurore Dupin. She was a controversial and independent figure. They met in 1836 and began their liaison in 1838. Their personalities were very different. Chopin was reserved and delicate. Sand was flamboyant and assertive. Despite these differences, they shared a deep intellectual connection. Their relationship lasted for nearly 10 years. It was a period of great creative output for Chopin. Sand provided him with a degree of stability and care. During his time with George Sand, Chopin composed many of his greatest masterpieces. They spent several winters together, most notably in Mallorca in 1838 to 39. The Majorcan winter was harsh and Chopin's health suffered. However, it was during this difficult period that he completed his Preludes, Opus 28. Sand's estate at Nohant in central France became a summer retreat for Chopin. There, surrounded by nature and cared for by Sand, he found peace to compose. Works like the Ballade No. 4 in F minor and several nocturnes and mazurkas date from these Nohant summers. However, the relationship with George Sand eventually deteriorated. Tensions arose partly due to issues involving Sand's children. Chopin sided with Sand's daughter Solange in a family dispute. This caused an irreparable rift between Chopin and Sand. They separated in 1847. The breakup was emotionally devastating for Chopin. His health, already fragile from tuberculosis, declined rapidly. The loss of Sand's companionship and support was a severe blow. His later music often reflects an intensified melancholy and a profound sense of longing. His creative output also diminished in these final years. The final years of Chopin's life were filled with suffering. His tuberculosis worsened progressively. Despite his declining health, he continued to compose and teach. In 1848, he traveled to England and Scotland at the invitation of his wealthy Scottish student, Jane Stirling. He gave several public performances and private recitals there. The damp British climate was detrimental to his health. He returned to Paris exhausted and very ill. He gave his last public concert in Paris on November 16, 1848. It was a charity event for Polish refugees. Frédéric Chopin died in Paris on October 17, 1849. He was only 39 years old. His sister Ludwika was with him in his final days. Many friends also visited him. His funeral was held at the Church of the Madeleine in Paris. As he had requested, Mozart's Requiem was performed. Thousands attended to pay their respects. He was buried at Père Lachaise Cemetery in Paris. However, in accordance with his dying wish, his heart was removed. It was later taken by his sister to Warsaw. It now rests within a pillar at the Holy Cross Church. Chopin's contribution to music is immense, especially for the piano. He developed a highly original and poetic pianistic language. His works are known for their beautiful melodies and innovative harmonies. He made masterful use of rhythm, rubato, and the pedal. He explored the expressive capabilities of the piano like no one before him. He primarily composed for solo piano. He elevated genres such as the nocturne, prelude, etude, and ballade to new heights of artistry. His polonaises and mazurkas remain powerful expressions of Polish national identity. The music of Chopin continues to enchant audiences worldwide. His works are a cornerstone of the piano repertoire. Pianists everywhere study and perform his compositions. The International Chopin Piano Competition, held in Warsaw every 5 years, is a testament to his enduring fame. His music speaks directly to the heart. It conveys a wide range of human emotions, from joy and passion to deep sorrow and nostalgia. Chopin's genius created a timeless body of work. His melodies remain instantly recognizable. His influence on subsequent generations of composers is undeniable. He truly was the poet of the piano.